Hi, this is Damien. I'm here with Charlie Beech. So we actually met through LinkedIn. We did. And Charlie is going to introduce himself in more detail in a second, but when I first came across your profile, I was like, this is very interesting because you rarely see somebody that's, let's say, on LinkedIn in a place aimed at professional business. Everybody's full suit and tie, and your picture is you on a rugby field in rugby attire, and you're posting real stuff that can be applied to both sports and business. And I just really like that because it seems just different and authentic. So that's what caused me to reach out to you. Just to introduce Charlie, Charlie's going to go into great. I'm sure your name is greater right now. Charlie, you run a group, a sports group, for where people that are interested in rugby and people that have moved from professional sports and are starting off in business can sit with like-minded people, get advice, and even sometimes get handheld to get their business from zero meetings to having business all in good environment. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so as you say, business school from I was 4 and it's built off the back end of 15 years of full-time rugby. That was my background with my league. Still semi-pro now, so I get to use some brilliant pictures. A guy called Dave Winstacks every weekend, so once a week I'm on trying to teach lessons in some ways, to share some wisdom, share some experience with, we were talking experience earlier, because the two are applicable. Sport is a field where we push hard to succeed, so our business is the same. So there's so many lessons between the two. When I went from full-time rugby, so I had a career, I was playing for Northampton Saints, I played for London Wasps, played for Bath, moved up in, played for Leeds, and then I left, and so a few clubs in between the two. I've played in amongst some amazing names, famous names. And loved it, absolutely loved it. The time comes that has to end. Went semi-pro, it got to a point where my home life and family life demanded more than I could give while still being a full-time sports person. There's a level of, how good you are, how good you want to hand things out, but when you get to a point where you can't give that level of quality, rugby was always going to give to me before family did, so I was like, I'll hand rugby off. So I had a part-time in a job, right? So stepped out of rugby full-time, ran around all my contacts, and I found myself on the phone selling business coaching. I very much learned on the feet. It was just, I had to get out there, I had to earn money, I had to find a way that works. You come from a world where you get picked up at 18, so you've got A levels, you've got to go anything 4 past that, and what kind of chemistry then we're going to in the real world, I'm not sure, but just handed the phone, told what to say or what had to start bits, and off you went. So just learn on the feet, went down and ran that for, I was just going into COVID actually, that was the November leading into the March that we all got locked down. So then I had to flick everything online and work out online. I've been, I had enough foresight to start a LinkedIn profile during my career, just connecting with people when I first just literally sending bits out. Didn't really use it, but just had it to sort of start a base. I didn't realise when lockdown everyone stuck at home, LinkedIn's a brilliant way to get in touch with people. So just started contacting people on there, talking bits through, and was looking at all the traditional sources of things, looking at all that and just thinking this needs a bit of a rewrite. It's not how I'd, using my sort of background, so you want to win, right? You don't do things that you don't need to do.
Right.
You don't just do things because that's the way it's always been done. We literally get to the core of the thing that needs doing and find a way of doing it. So it's like, right, let's ignore all that noise and actually get to that bit where businesses need money and they get money without sales, so let's sell stuff. It's like, right, let's get to that quicker. But have fun, because a lot of the stuff that's this world, the business world, they've got all these events that's supposed to be entertaining, and they're just not. I'm sure there are people out there that love a law update, I'm not one of them. So it's kind of going, okay, so it's just actually trying to put stuff on. So fast forward out of that, business coaching bit went, and I was like, I'm going to start my own thing here because I can't find anyone doing things the way I want to do them. So I run my own. shot out the door, started telesales just because it was a place that bring money in, and then just slowly build it around to a point where we'd run events, there's a membership, and we're building a business community together, because that then gives me access to good people you can trust. So then when I tap into my sporting background and help those other guys who are on that transition out of sport into business, they've got a landing pad. They've got somewhere they can go, they can work with people that they can trust. They can get that advice, they can get that mentorship, I can get them jobs, I can get them small businesses to work on, work in, or they can just access a network. They might have stuff they've been doing already and they just want a bit of guidance or a very good accountant or whatever. They can come to us and go, right, and I'm working with a bunch of guys down and ring me off.
Yeah.
So we put the big events on to advertise what we're doing and talk about athlete transition, build that business community. The clubs love it because when they interact with us, the players get looked after, happy players. They've also got access to new attendees, new fans, new sponsors potentially. We'll do trips in reverse, we'll put events on in boxes, so you go watch you go to rugby, we'll do some business like there. It's not just limited to rugby, so obviously it's an easier field for me to start in, but we've had race car drivers up here, we've got access to horse racing, we've got all sorts. So sport's the key. I'm a big fan of putting together 2 women's rugby teams, it's not just men, it's any professional sports person. We've got young people trying to get into sport. There's one of the guys who work with, Tom Allen, who's England's wheelchair rugby league World Cup winning captain. He's 24. He's got an OBE to his name for winning the World Cup, and he works part-time in the gym. And it's going, his profile should be earning more than enough money that he can train full-time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, because wheelchair rugby league, brilliant games to watch. Doesn't earn that money, so he's trying to help support him learning a career that can give him the money that means he can do his sport better. So wherever sport and business meet, we're there to support it, whether that's events, networking, sponsorship, whatever needs doing. We're there to ease that transition, basically a platform that the other bits can work from.
And I think, in particular, you're in a good position to do it, because you see, there's a lot of people that sell business coaching, and there's a lot of people that philosophize, right? I think a lot of business coaching, business advice, even networking, anything to do with getting people into business and getting businesses more business to do, a lot of it is over philosophized. So people are regurgitating the same concepts over and over again. At the end of the day, you can only learn so many fancy concepts and cool things before it all starts sounding the same. So that's why most groups, I think, do not see success. Because again, I'm in Ireland, and I know there's some good groups, but there's a lot of groups that are just kind of mediocre. But I think because you've lived with it, that life, as a sports pro, not just dabble, not somebody that had just an interest or passion for sport, but you've actually went yourself, transitioned from full-time life consuming sport to now full-time business. You've walked the walk, and it's almost like you don't have to invent processes, you don't have to invent a strategy. You just say, hey, I know X, Y, and Z, right? Come, I'll take you through exactly what I did. Yeah. And that's why I think your authenticity comes out. So I think you've got a value proposition that is not copyable. Yeah. Tell me, when you were in rugby, right? Like, you started off in rugby fairly young, right?
Professionally, I was 17.
There you go.
Yeah. I started playing when I was 7, but in terms of as a professional, 17. But I played all the men's groups up to then as well, so I played 16s through 20s, like the World Cups, to all that noise. I was going up for a while,
A while is over. So when you were starting off, 17, going professional, did you have an idea of what you're going to do after rugby? Because for a lot of sports people, right, I dabbled in martial arts when I was a kid. Not to say kid, young adult, not to the same extent that you did rugby, but even then I had this thing where I was like, I'm going to do MMA, I'm going to fight, I'm going to do taekwondo, I'm going to fight, and that's it. I don't need another career after. Was that the same with you? Were you like rugby until I die? Or?
It's a funny one, because rugby for me came, my family are all footballers. So I've got pro footballers, semi-pro footballers, professional referees, I've got all sorts of my family.
Right.
And then I was playing a battle lads game at the age of 7, did a slight tackle on someone's dad, really broke him in half. because I was 7. So,
Yeah.
so they went, and fair play to him to say, dads are known for making little Jimmy play what they played. And my dad walked over, he was like, there's this other game you could play. So when I was a rugby club, and that was that. Right? So I found rugby found me, we very much got on with each other, and it kind of is what it was. It was something that I loved. I love what it brings to you as a person, like playing, but it wasn't like an all-consuming passion that I had to be a professional rugby player. I was just very good at it, and I loved it. You know, like when I'm on the field, I'm the happiest I am at any point in my life. Like that is me. You know, I'm playing rugby. I'll say 80 minutes because that's how I get every shot because I'm prop forward. It doesn't play that long ever anymore. But it's like I'm home. I know what I know where things are set. So when I played the extreme stuff, just kept turning up and trials, getting picked, loved it, and then the opportunity came in front of me. I never had a clue what I was going to do at that school. I had ideas, but I was like, I like, 1 minute I'm going to be in the army, next minute I'm going to go to uni, read history, next minute I'm looking at law, like, it's floating around, and someone went, you'd be a professional rugby player if you want. Because you played the 8 streets, you've done the other, like, I love it. It's not obviously because I didn't love it, but it was never like, I'm going to be a pro rugby player, that's the dream, right? So it was presented to me, it came with a 2-year scholarship at a private school first, which was amazing, because I was a state school boy, so I was finished off at Oakham, which was beautiful. And then into Northampton Saints, so I think I was already in a different place to a lot of the lads who, like you said, it's like, I'm going to play rugby, this is going to be my life, this is all that I'm going to be. I was already a bit like, this is great, but I can see there's a whole world out there. And we had a guy come in and sort of talk about careers after sport, and I think it was very loose there. It was very much like, I think they do this almost like sales things, like they talk to us and we join in the news, I wasn't really looking at this, but I think part of it stuck in. And then the other part came was I was the first kid when I was 21. So I think you don't immediately go, right, I've got a life to look after, and this isn't just me, found around, this is real stuff. So started looking around, and my skill set's in introductions, right? I'm a door opener. And you can drop me in a room with people I don't know, and I'm comfortable. Like, I don't mind the corner, I can sit into it. It's not, overbearing, like, I have to be the centre of attention, but I can find things that are slightly unusual, point them out, big like a bit beginner when you're still looking down. It's a great, I love it. I love turning up with this, I love meeting new people, finding new things. And that got recognised quite early by businesses who started going, so you could do that for us. So very early I was doing bits in wealth management, I was doing links for mortgages, mortgage brokers.
Right.
And just put people together more than anything else, like just using that interpersonal skill set, really.
I can see why you in particular, and I mean you in particular because I know you, but now that I think about it, I have friends who are, also big into rugby. No, they weren't professionals by any means, but I can see why, especially rugby, a lot of sports, it would be good for giving you the traits, like the soft character traits to be a door opener. Because when you're approaching someone new, right? Say you're in a room full of people, everybody's just super smart, maybe being in a tuxedo is like your, 9 to 5. You have all these preconceived notions, you go up to people and there's all these like almost hidden stresses you're gonna have, like they're gonna say, oh, who are you? They're gonna be cold, we have all these like little micro stresses coming at you, and it's exhausting and stressful. At the same time, when you're rubbing rugby, because it's, you're always charging forward, there's always people that, kind of physically coming at you, you might get hit and take shots. So I think because you managed to learn, and you kind of got used to, especially when you say you feel at peace, you feel happier in the field, because you managed to learn how to take all these hits head on, it's almost like it shouldn't even bother you anywhere else in life. No,
and that's, a lot of the stuff I do is that translation of what I've done in sport into business. As you said, I landed in a business coaching franchise, so I sort of learned that rule book. And then after a little while, I sat there, well, actually, that's just the stuff I know presented in a different way. So I put the two together, and it's dealing with pressure. I'm like, well, prop forward, play international level rugby, like, there's stats that have been done. There's more than a ton of physical pressure going through each of the front row players' spines during a scrum. Because when you've got 8 people that weigh more than 100 kilos shoved in one direction, 8 people do the same in the other, your spine takes a toll. It's like, at that level, it's not about being bigger and stronger than the other guys. It's usually about just holding and waiting for them to blink.
Okay.
And it's like, if that's not a business lesson, I don't know what is, because sometimes it's just about holding on and waiting for the world to blink. Like, there's so many transfers where you go, yeah, there's one, there's the other. And as you say, like rugby union, it's, for me, I do play a bit of American football, I'll put it out there with it.
Okay.
If you look at both those sports, they are the two sports where the participants are the most physically dissimilar. So if you think of football, you get the odd hit crouch, but generally most people are similar sort of height, small, slim, do what they do, right? Look at hockey, look at cricket, look at all of them. All of them is team sports. We talk about how good team sports are for businesses because they teach you about team building and working together and all that as leadership. So team sports generally prepare you in that direction. When you're playing in rugby and you've got me on the field, you on the field, right, who done recently lesson at 11 stone and 5 foot nothing, like we're on the same field. We've all got our jobs to do. And we're all working together to win. That's a business. Because it sounds useless as an accountant's office. Accountants are generally dreadful on the phone, and yet we're all working together to make business with.
Okay.
So it's a brilliant business primer. And then rugby union in this country, obviously most of the professional sports people in rugby, most professional rugby players, coming from the public school background, like a lot of boarding schools where you play like state schools here traditionally don't play that much rugby, whereas all boarding schools do. So you're automatically in a network full of people that have got big business, connections here, high net worth individuals all sat there. Rugby opens the door. Cricket also, but rugby's got that to it. So when you combine all that, you've got people like you say, charge forward, take the knocks and keep going, can deal with pressure. Now to work people that are different. And I've already got a network full of people that could buy and sell high value commodities. That's their standard. So it's like that is everything that a wealth management firm, finance brokerage, any kind of top level service is looking for. There's like, he's there, he's ready.
How do you train somebody to be okay with taking knocks to the face, both on rugby? Like, people, the hands, fingers, elbows, pushing everywhere going into this area. I know there's this simple exercise they do in like MMA, they get you kind of like stand with your eyes open under a shower to get used to this. But how would you train someone to be okay to take those knocks in rugby and also in business, so that maybe there's a lot of anxiety going out to people, meeting people, and making those, introductions and stuff?
It's a funny one because I've actually done it where I mentioned to you on the way in, like I've put 2 women's rugby teams together, like family them off the floor. If you go to practically any rugby club in this country, there's men's teams, some of them again women's teams. Most of them have grown up in their own rugby union, or they know rugby, so rugby's fine, right? So you kind of get the ropes. When you're teaching women, you recruit from wherever you can, you get people who've never played the game. Okay. So I've done those sessions where it's like, this is the first contact session, right? And you'll get some who are keen and just dive straight, not bothered, or they've come from another sport, they're used to it, so it's fine. But you'll get that small group where it's like, I've been nervous about this, I don't know how to deal with it. And we had to walk them in, so I basically started the game in the background and let them watch for a bit. And it's like, look, this is this is that. Look, that person's fine. They've taken a big hit, right? They're still running like it's nothing to be scared about. And the biggest thing for me in rugby has always been, if you commit to that ball carry, if you run hard, you'll be fine. If you commit to that tackle, if you tackle with everything you've got, you'll be fine. If you half-ass it, you're going to get hurt. Because they're the ones, when you flinch a bit, when you do a little bit away, they're the ones where you catch the breaks. If you just go hell for leather or something, very rarely do you hurt yourself. So it's encouraging people on that front, it's talking them through, some people need more, some people need less. From the business perspective, and this is kind of something I use a lot in it, it's going, a bad day on a rugby field is a broken neck. Okay. A bad day in the office is, you didn't get a deal, or a deal's fallen through, or this. I know there's money involved in both, so I'm not belittling that. What I'm saying is a bad day in the office is something's not quite gone your way, or someone's told you off. Bad day at a rugby field is physical pain. You know, like you're literally bleeding walking away. Like you're in an office, you're not. So it's going, let's take that and put them there. Now, actually, one of the events we put on is a 5-side touch rugby tournament, and we get businesses to buy in, charities buy in, they'll run around with a rugby field together, and no one gets hurt as touch rugby. But it's that like, this is you know, a day at the office. This is what a day at my office used to look like. This is where you can get hurt. This is the thing. So, like you say, dealing with people not turning up, dealing with people ignoring you, ghosting you, dealing with people that say they're going to do something, then don't, dealing with a deal that pulls out after they've signed a contract, dealing with, it's going to happen. There's no world in which you're going to be a salesperson that sells 100% of beans you make and 100% of beans turn up. Never happen. So it's go, look, the world you're in, it's going to come with knocks and bumps and bruises. You've got to accept that's part of the class, right? That's part of the game. And they both commit 100%, because if you're half-arsed with connection, someone's not going to turn up. If you really go for it, you turn up and be you do your best, you walk away from that afterwards, go, we're going to do everything, jobs are going, problems there, but not mine. So it's just commit and go for it.
Seems like almost, because I have a sales background, a lot of the time, the anxiety of it is the worst part. Because at the end of the day, you know, whenever you're doing a meeting, a deal, or a project, it's people will buy if it makes business sense and if they like it. Right? And everything else, like, oh, they're difficult to get to, means they probably don't want to talk to me, or busy, they don't, like, nobody likes talking to salespeople, blah, 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 blah. Right? Like, the anxiety of getting there is the worst part. And I think what you said is, if you just go head on and fully commit, you rarely get hurt, if ever.
Just do it. I'll tell you one of the funniest ones, and it's the easiest one, first time this really jumped up in my head. So my first bit was pure telesales, right? So they had me a list, and it's just got names, business names, telephone numbers, off your chart, right? So I sent a business coach, so I needed to get to the MD. Because then it goes to Charlie Beech, not, top of sales, and it's just business out of the business realm. And I'm coming out of a sport where the only business people we meet are sponsors. And therefore, these guys have all got money to burn. And in our minds, because we're high performers, right? That's what we're doing the game we're doing. If these guys are in top teams, they must also all be high performers. So in our mind, these people are important people, got a lot of stuff to do, and you kind of treat them that way. I give you a list, and I'm looking at that list, I'm thinking, I could be bothering someone in the middle of the day here, I could be doing this, taking a time, moving on the phone, and like you said, there's anxieties kicking. And you think, just pick the bloody phone up and get on with it. Like, let them say no to you. Like, you're not going to know. Stop making excuses for why they might say no and ignore it. Just do it. And then what's mad is if you actually look those people up on LinkedIn. Because the moment you get a face, you suddenly realise that they're not some scary faceless MD. It's just Bob who runs whatever.
Has a wife and kids.
And you can see Bob, and Bob doesn't look that scary, and you think, oh, that's all right, and you just pick it up and go. But it's amazing, like you say, the demons and anxieties are in your own head until you just get on with it. But just the slight humanisation makes it easier, and that's why I love trying to focus on all the personal event style. So get people in, build it face to face with, because all those anxieties drop away, and you can actually sit with someone and talk to them.
I think you're definitely right, and just doing it your way removes all the anxiety, and I think it gives you this kind of a relentless mindset. I have a friend, I grew up in a little village in Ireland, in Kildare, Nice. We have in our group of friends, we had a friend who, again, big into rugby. He's the guy I told you about earlier, and he always just had a very sort of mentality: do this, get on with it, and then do it again. Like, very kind of headstrong. You couldn't stop him. No, granted, he's as fragile and as smooth as a brick wrapped in barbed wire. You know, he's not smooth. He's not. But he's polite and he does his best. And now, again, I have a career in sales and all that. He was working in a gym as an assistant manager, and I disappeared to Poland for a few years during COVID. I came back, the guy's got a few cars, he's got a garage, he's got a gym, he has a thing where he sells solar, he's got so many things going on, and nothing changed, just that exact mindset, that relentlessness that comes from this very much just take it head on, like commit fully, you will not get hurt.
Yeah.
You will only get hurt if you half-ass it.
Yeah.
I think people really underestimate that like mindset over time, especially if you make a mindset a habit. It's like a cheat code almost.
But it is, and it's such an obvious one really, because you think, like sales is a wonderful one, because someone can turn around to you and say, oh, you 10% of every sell.
Yeah.
Right. You've got an endless amount of stuff to sell, so you're never going to run out.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an endless amount of money available, because obviously if you sell it, they get the money, they give you a big set of lots to win it.
Yeah.
Right. You can pick a phone up a couple hundred times a day if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've got the data, you've got the people to speak to, it's like you have got access to more or less an endless amount of money. You're going to have to work hard for it.
Yeah.
Now, if you sit and deliberate and spend time checking everyone out, doing all the other and everything else, I know I said, look at LinkedIn to do and that helps. When you do this persistently, you need to keep yourself going. But if you just sit down, you've got your phone, you've got your database, you're getting all distractions, and you just call people, you're going to get told no far more than you're going to get told yes. I guarantee that someone's going to say yes. Mm-hmm. Because if you've got a business that's got to that point, they know what they're about, right?
Yeah, of course.
The harder you work, the more money you'll make. It's as simple as that. There is always going to be more. Go again. Ring the guy that told you no, it wasn't the right time. Know him that he's a month behind, right? A month later, ring him back. I know you're getting on 6 to do it now. Call people on what they're telling you. If you just keep going, there is endless opportunity out there. Oh. Like people say, there might not be jobs laying around, but to me, like whether it's the right job for you, whether you qualify for, is kind of irrelevant. Sales is something you can get just by nutting up and getting on with it. It's just find someone who'll give you the money to sell the thing. If you walk up to most businesses and said, if I sell something for you, can I give you the cut? They're going to say yes, because it's worth it on and out anyway. Yeah. So it's just a matter of how hard you want to work and how often you want to pick a phone up. Phones are not the best return in terms of time, and as you get more into it, the cleverer you can get with it, and essentially the easier your work becomes, and the bigger the reward for each one that you put in can be. So that it's not a great way of earning a living forever. Yeah. But you spend more time worrying when you sat still.
Exactly, and now that leads us nicely to the next part. So obviously, there's a limited amount of effort anyone can expend just on the phone number, and sooner or later you're going to run out of phone numbers.
Yeah.
Rarely, but in-person meetings, like meeting up with people, getting people in the same room, having fun together, learning, educating one another, but being there to do business. Mm-hmm. I think that's a better way to do things.
Absolutely agree.
And that's something that you do now.
Yes.
Can you walk us through how? I know it's a big operation.
Yeah, it is.
Step by step.
We've essentially what I was saying there. So I've got like a band of people that across different businesses, different industries, who will pay me for introducing people to them. So I open up the door. They go through, sell. I get a customer. Right? So they've all been offered to me on the back of people coming to me, seeing all the people I know, seeing all the bits I'm doing, and go, right, we think you're someone that can do this job. So it's like, right, great. How do I get in front of as many people as possible? While enjoying myself, because frankly, I was a pro rugby player for a number of years. Like, I like enjoying my work. Yeah. So it's going, I need to enjoy myself. I need to get in front of as many people as possible. So what I do is I put events on. Mm-hmm. So we do like a monthly breakfast where we talk to other ex-pro sports people about their transition out of sport. So we're going onto LinkedIn, on social media. We're doing this today. This is the guy that's speaking. This is the girl that's speaking. This is what we're doing. Come here, beautiful place. Buy a ticket, includes breakfast. Everyone's a winner, right? Yeah. So we charge out on that. I do a lot of work on LinkedIn anyway, so I do sort of transition post on a Monday, kind of mental health based, but more. I've learned this in sport. It's relevant to business. So if anyone reacts to that, I'm chatting to. Hey, did you enjoy that? Why don't you come along to this next one, right? So we get them along. So that is the sort of outreach process, get people in an event. They turn up at the event, we sit, and I can honestly count on one. We've been doing it for 18 months, and count on one hand the amount of people that left and haven't come back to say how amazing the event was. Because there are many people out there doing talks with sports people, but it's like, tell us about that game, tell us about that goal, tell us about that try, that manager. telling the war stories. There's a time and place for it. I love being at those as much as anyone does. But in terms of what it teaches you about business, liberty.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's great to hear, but it's not teaching anything. Right? Your career ended. What did you do? Well, I had to deal with this. I had to deal with mental health. I had to deal with the stress. I had to deal with the loss of income. I had to deal with the loss of status. I found my way. I found this thing. I ran it hard. I ran it deep. I learned this in sport. I brought that into business. And that's why I now succeed. You as a business person sits there and goes, I have to deal with mental health. I have to deal with the loss of income. I have to deal with that. I have to change this. And actually, they found that thing I worked really hard, and I can use that lesson that they learned in sport and apply that to myself. People walk out of that room like, and everyone's all unscripted. So people, some of them are really mental health based. Some of them are really sad. Some of them are really happy. It's like, there's a real mix. People walk out there, and that was amazing. So you're like, brilliant. Fancy if I provide more often. In fact, we're here once a week doing like a co-working, networking space. You just bring your laptop, bring your stuff, come sit and learn. And if you're in a room with someone who's relevant for you to talk to, you've got met, I'll literally drag two together, put it together. That sounds great. I get to do business. I don't know if it was a day to networking. Like this all works, right? Got rid of all the noise about networking. No one's wearing a name tag. So it's easy. So it's just literally facilitating those. So as that group grows, I've got a whole bunch of people who are sport-minded. They don't have to be sports people. They don't have to be rugby-based. But that like work hard, we're getting somewhere. We've got to celebrate our wins, and they're sport-minded people. I want to have businesses that are sport-minded, which is where all the pro sports people can come and get their access to. But essentially, those guys who then pay me to do introductions for them, I can introduce them physically. I can literally put them in rooms with people. I can put them together and sit in the middle of it. And you don't need to offer me an introductory, referral fee to be part of the club. It's not part of it. But there are those that are both. There are those that do it from the outside. But essentially, I'm building that business pool. Everything's based around a face-to-face. So I use social media and phone calls to get people in the room. Once they're here, it's just contact them, get them to more things, get them involved. Whether it's come and watch the rugby, whether it's put a team in at the rugby, whether it's sponsor the marquee so everyone be looked after with VIPs, the rugby, whether it's let's go get a box to go watch the local team and I'll fill the room full of prospects for you. Whether that's a dinner of the same notion or whether that's literally buying the whole event and I'll entertain all your clients and existing staff members for you. Like, we can do all of that. It's all based around face-to-face. Because sport, it's great on the TV. Even though your view is probably worse when you're watching it in person, even though it's a pain in the house to get to in person, even though you spend twice as much on alcohol in person, you show me someone that would rather be sat at home watching the World Cup final
on the sofa,
as opposed to the person who's paid and is sat in the stadium. So like that's what it should be.
Like, just being there. Do you know what I like? I've been to a lot of groups. Some were great, some not so, but what I like about the way you are running Front Row Support is it's very transparent. So you see there's a lot of groups, they're like, hey, come along, it's a networking session, we'll exchange ideas, maybe you'll meet some of your friends, and kind of the subconscious messages, I hope you buy some shit for someone there, versus this is very much like, look, we're grown-ups. We have fun, we learn stuff, it's fun, we learn stuff, it's enjoyable, but it's business, right? And I think because of that, you're able to provide a higher quality, let's say, a character of people that come along, because you don't have fluffers, right? No one's going to force anyone to buy anything from someone. It's, if I can make more money with your service, I'll pay you money, right? And it's because it's so honest and upfront, like, hey, we're there to have fun, but also do business. People that come are very open to buy from others, and also they're happy because others will come with that same mindset and be open to buy from them. The value's there. So that's why I love it, because it's so, commerce oriented. But it's done in a fun and enjoyable way, so it's natural. It's not this kind of blasé, very showy. So no, I think it's really good, and there's a lack for that because there's a lot of people that run groups. Like, there's groups everywhere, and there's people standing up. I know in Ireland it's a thing where people stand up, they deliver presentations, half the people nod off during the presentations, and the other are on their phone, the others on their phone and stuff like that. Everyone claps at the end. Yeah. Nobody knows what the presentation was about. And people are paying membership fees to be part of groups, to go for coffees in nice places, and have a good view. But at the end of the day, it leads nowhere. You might have one, maybe two meaningful connections per year. Yeah. And a lot of people that go to these kinds of groups, they do it for social impact after a while. Like, they go in trying to get business, but they end up staying just only for just having something to do.
Yeah, I know the guys in the room. I like the guys in the room. It's nice doing something.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Sunday club, but this is very much 50-50 fun and business, and that ratio is maintained.
Yeah, and that's kind of, like I said, I went and did a lot of them and learned lots from different bits of them. And my initial thing, like I said, I was looking around thinking no one does things the way I'd like to do it. It's because, like, we go to school as kids and it's like sit down, be taught, do it our way, and you do as you're told, and you learn how to do all that sort of thing. And it's like if you go to church, I was at church schools, you sit and you get spoken at, and you sit and you can, as long as you need to, and you leave. And it's like people then accept that as grown-ups we have to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. So you go to work, you do the thing, you go to the event, you nod your head, like you said, sit on the phone, try and read through it. It's like, we shouldn't be like the point of being a grown-up is you deal with your own consequences. You turn up, do the things you want to do, and deal with it as a calculator. That's the grown-up. Mm-hmm. You've not got parents there dealing with the consequences, but deal with it. So it's like, all right, that means I get to do the things I want to do, right? So yeah. It's like, so why have I got to go to a boring thing to sit there and deal with that? It's like, you shouldn't. It's like, well, let's do business based on the fact that, like, I know you are like you and you do the thing I need. Yes. Trust's a massive part of it. But already know after that's done, you do the thing I need and it's affordable. That's pretty much it, right? So just go, well, let's deliver those. Now, when I first came out of rugby, I deliberated about how hard I went back into rugby for business, because I didn't want business people seeing it as a gimmick. Yeah. Or what's this kid now? He's only been in a rugby film. So I sort of hear it, bring people, speak to people, and eventually be like, oh, yeah, rugby player, rugby player. And you quickly polarise people. Mm-hmm. Those who think you are a gimmick and a waste of time, and those actually think it's an amazing thing. So fast forward, I'm sat here and I'm wearing my front row rugby top. Yeah. My colours are black and white because I am. It's a set of rugby posts as the logo, because people that like rugby go, oh, he's interested. People that don't go, oh God, I'm talking to him. It's saved me countless conversations that would have failed. Mm-hmm. Because they've got to the point, stars with their shirt all the time. I have saved myself so much time putting this on and doing this the way I've done it. Like you were describing your mate earlier, brick wrapped in barbed wire. Yeah, I'm as subtle as a sledgehammer. So it's like, that is what you get. So you walk in and I'm like, right, the point of networking is to meet people who generate business. So if you know you can come somewhere, and at the beginning I can go, right, you're going to meet him, you've got me booked in. Business is now concluded. Now let's sit and have some fun, right? Because now you realize, okay, we're actually yet to know him. Mm-hmm. And you know who you like him and trust him. So when that meeting then happens, you don't need to sit there making awkward small talk. Right. You don't need to ask him about his wife and his kids, and you've written his name down somewhere to remember his kid's name. All this. No, because actually you can sit there and go, that event we were at was amazing, right? Yeah. Do you remember so-and-so getting drunk and dancing on the table? Do you remember that talk where that guy spoke about sat in the middle of the Atlantic in his rowboat? Can you remember that you've already got that shared experience, you've already got a bond? Mm-hmm. If you come in here on a Thursday and just hang around with the other guys, having conversations, it's really getting to know each other. So then when you have the business meeting, it can be 20 minutes. Yeah. Walk in, you do that, I know you do that, I already trust you, what's your fee point that much? Right, we're already paying twice that to that idiot, I don't like him, you take it, there's contract, thanks very much, so much more efficient. So you spend the time doing the fun bits, which lays the basis for the business bit. The business then becomes bang.
Do you know what this reminds me of? This nice picture in my head, like a small village with a town square where everyone's got a business. You've got a tailor, you've got a baker, you've got a person with a bar, mm-hmm. You've got a blacksmith, and everyone knows what everyone does. Yeah. And it takes demystifies business. It's kind of like, yeah, I want this, I go to this guy.
Yeah.
So you're all doing business together and in and around each other.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when you have fireworks at a certain holiday or just even in the evening, everybody goes to the town square, have a few beers together.
Yeah.
It feels exactly like that, where it's just like a community. But the people that are in it are tested because, again, you can quickly disqualify people in and out based on, are they going to treat you like a gimmick, and are they going to treat the group like just another networking group, or are they actually going to come in and commerce back and forth?
Yeah, and that's, we call it the clubhouse, which is a play on sport, obviously, the clubhouse of sport. But it's that, like, you finish a game, you'll get together, sit down, have a few beers, talk about what's happened, do the rest of it. And it's like, I'm talking about beers and alcohol a lot, and it's like the reason teams traditionally have got from a drunk together is because the inhibitions, like, you do daft stuff. The team building is about shared experience. I mean, it's like, while you're all guarded and nervous, you don't really do anything that's noteworthy, you don't build the team. So if you want to really quickly build one, get all the trash, let them all back like idiots, and then the followers all they've already got an amazing shared experience, right?
Yeah.
So it's a great way of supercharging stuff. It is by no means necessary, but it's a great way of doing it. But as you say, you're in these groups, you come to the clubhouse, this is one hub. Long term, there'll be several hubs, as you say, to use that analogy, there'll be several villages. People travel between the villages, anyone new that comes to the village gets to meet up. He's getting his hair done, I need this making, that's him over there, go speak to him. And then I just become, I don't need to be the guy doing all the referrals because they all know and like each other anyway. So I'm then just kind of, I visit from time to time. I'm the guy with the fireworks. So I'd say, I'll put them on, have a great time, right, next one. So that's the long-term goal, is that these hubs exist all over the country and then later in the world, because post-sport's everywhere, right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
I've said to people, my kind of, big part of it, and you'll know what visualization, that sort of noise and that stuff, it's like getting that clear going and running towards it. Another one from sport. I've done my job and completed it.
Yeah.
The day I help pursue my wrestler in Japan into a job or into a role or get them signed up or do something, I'm like, I've done it now. This is it. Right. Just that, like, I'm on the other side of the planet, I'm doing something. I love cigarettes. If you've ever watched it, it is insane how fast they can always move. Like, the power in those giant human beings is insane. I love it. But if I get to a point where I've gone into a culture that's not my own, wearing a badge and working with a sport that's not my own, on the other side of the planet, and I still help someone around, I'm like, that's job done. So that's kind of the goal, right? That's if I can get to the point where we spread around the globe and I've ended up, because it's good rugby in Japan, though. Yeah. It's great rugby in Japan, but while the national team's flying, but I'm doing the outside with a reason to be there.
That image is going to stay with me. You're helping a sumo wrestler on the job, That's going to stay with me. We're going to keep in touch.
Sure.
I would like to meet them.
I'm going to be out on the trip with them.
Yeah.
On the trip.
You've brought yourself from not being in business to being in business and doing well. And you, on the daily or on the regular, bring people into business to, so they can avoid all the common mistakes and time wasting spinning the wheels. If you had, say, a young person beside you, right, maybe early 20s, just got out of college, maybe didn't even go to college, and they're trying to build a good life for themselves quickly, right? What would you say to them? How would you get them to go from where they are, young, dumb, but full of ideas, to still being young, maybe less dumb, but having a good life, something built and something that they can scale?
Yeah. No, I think when I've actually got a lad called down at New Year, just literally signed up with us as we speak. He's a young lad who's moving out of Grimsby to come up to Leeds, and he's still playing some Pro Rugby, doing something to do. So I've got the lad. And then literally the first thing we said to him was, get yourself visible. So he's got on LinkedIn, he's done what he's needed. So people know who he is and where he's about, right? So he's going, get yourself visible. And it's like, then get to things, turn up. So he's been to 3 events we've got so far, Dan's turned up at the park, turn up, get known. And it's like, find yourself a mentor, find yourself someone you can work with. He's working with me, I'm not by any means the only going to town, like there's plenty of people. Find someone that speaks to you. So these young rugby lads, obviously look at an older rugby lad who's done it, it makes sense, but I'm not the only one. So whoever you are, find that person that's been there, done it, and is willing to give you some time back. make yourself useful to them. Put those efforts in, put those hard yards in, like do that extra little bit, impressive. Like Dan turned up, set up for social media pages for not just himself, but for a few bits. He's been on the nose, he responds to things as soon as you drop him on him, he's an impressive young man. It's like, right, he's someone willing to take it to these places. Because you've ever done an introductory show, you've been in sales, you know what it's like. You make a referral and the guy doesn't turn up.
Yeah.
Says the wrong thing, or acts like a numpty in a little meeting, like, you feel it.
Yeah.
Right? He's quickly established himself as someone that can be trusted, will behave himself, turns up, does what he does.
Yeah.
I know him from a rugby field, so I know he's got the character. I'll put him in meetings, and he's been amazing to try. So if you're that young person, find that person that can put you in the rooms. Turn up, put the extra effort, do more than what's expected of you, and get on to it. And if you've got something that you're already running, you want to do it, just run hard. Like, stick with it and run hard, because like I said, with the contact, anything, it's like that. If you believe in the thing you're doing, you hold on to it like that for run out, I feel go. As long as it's not a completely stupid idea, it's just never got to work. If you've already done it to a certain point, it's got legs, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going to do that, just keep running it hard. And that's not saying run yourself into the floor, it's just saying there'll be a lot of people around you being like, oh, maybe you should just get a job, maybe easier if you did this, maybe you should look at that, maybe sort of doubt, because they've never done it and they're worried about you. So they're trying to help, but it can come across as negative, right? Just believe in yourself. You've got it this far, you can go. That next step, like you said, that scaling rather than growth, is when you can take that step out and leave someone else to do the thing that you were doing first. So that's where you've got to get to. So you've got to get that, as you said, going hard enough that you've got that hit, you can get someone to do that, and you take that step back and then reproduce it several times over. So the lady that works with me, my counterpoint, into my answer, she's process development. Okay. So I run around our community, get stuff done. She draws a running map out of what I've done, and then we teach that to other people. And that is how it's going to go.
Gotcha. And now imagine, because I had mentors, right, in different things as well, and it's definitely a fast track because they can't do it for you, but they can
put in their own direction.
They can pull you out if you're running off a cliff and don't know about it.
Yeah.
If someone doesn't have access to a mentor, because if let's say someone's in an environment where their family's encouraging them to do sports or school in general, they're going to be around people, they're going to be within close proximity to people that are doing something. But if someone is not from an environment where, because your environment is crucial, like it forms you, if you don't have access to a mentor, you can't point to a single person in your group where you'd be like, yeah, I want to be like him. What would you tell that person?
But you know what, it's funny because I do a lot of work with the Yorkshire Children's Charity. It's a fantastic charity. It looks after kids around Yorkshire. It's a really bright area in Yorkshire. Worryingly high levels of child poverty in a giant county that's got so much, some tough bits. One of them received an email, one of the charity girls received an email from it's a 15-year-old called Nabby, who, the CV is ridiculous. And this kid has played volleyball massively high level, powerlifting at a high level. There's a third one, I can't remember what it was. But he's basically on the line, he's written this email and he's just gone, this is me. These are all the sports I've done. These are all the achievements I'm at. I'm from a school that Yorkshire Children's Charity supports because essentially it's a very deprived area and the majority of people in the school do not have the resources to, you literally go to their Christmas stuff and you hear about kids being sent to school, no underwear, no shoes, in the middle of the driving snow. We're talking proper poverty in the middle of a beautiful city. It's ridiculous. And he's like, you guys support my school. I need to get to the next level. I need support. I need sponsorship. I need connections. Can you please help me? You send that email. He's tailored it to the charity, but I guarantee that paragraph's been pulled out, rewritten, and sent to other places as well. He's listed what he can do. He's shown that he's a 15-year-old with resourcefulness. He's up off his own feet. He's running around doing. I don't know whether he can't do it by himself or if someone's bored him to do it, but I've rarely been so impressed with an email as a first impression.
Right.
And I'm going to go meet that kid and I'm going to go help and find sponsorship and do what we can for it, because that is a kid who's put his hand up loud across as many places as possible. Now, he's got access to an email account. Now, most people, we're sitting there talking about this on the podcast, people are going to be online, right? LinkedIn gives you access to a business community.
Yeah.
Right? Emails, all the email addresses, you can find emails. There are people there. The biggest thing in all things, whether you're talking sport, business, mental health, relationship, anything, communicate, talk, ask for help. Biggest thing. Because I guarantee if you go on LinkedIn and you spend enough messages to enough people saying, starting this, I'm doing this, I need help, can you give me 20 minutes to get out, I'm willing to come to you, can we have a coffee, can we do whatever, people will say yes.
So just getting yourself to places where there are people, it's catapulting yourself, because at the end you've got little to lose, right? So
very little to lose other than a bit of time and maybe some coffee money. Like, a lot of people prefer face to face, but some people jump online with it. Like, there are many, many, many good people out there. I know the world's full of bad news, this is bad. You go into that business community and you make enough noise, people will turn up. You put something out about you that stands out, I'm doing this, I need a hand, who will help me? People will respond. And if they don't respond first time, ask again. And it's like, you will meet people. If you just go at it, you just got to go and you just got to back yourself and go, I'm here, I need a hand, someone help me. People put their hands up.
So just meet anyone, like whether it's somebody can join a group like Farmer Support, or even just a private group on LinkedIn, or just some random person on LinkedIn that looks like being able to talk about, just go out. Because again, you are right, people might seem sort of professional, like reciprocate, but usually if someone comes with good intentions, people are happy to reciprocate.
And that's the point. And it's like, you can do stand in town square and shout until you sticks their head out. But you could get something from someone could come along and put themselves up there as a business owner or has got some other attention or something like that. Of course you can. But generally, there's a nugget in anything anyone does that you can learn from. Even if it's, I'm never going to do that.
Yeah.
So as long as you don't wince about it, like you just sit and think, you analyse what's just gone on, and you think, well, I'll take that, I'll leave that worked, that didn't. People buy self-help books and expect every page to be full of advice that's going to help them. It's like, that's not life. Because you've worked half of it out and half of it's talking to somebody else. But you get one page in that book that makes you think differently and makes your life easier. That's a successful purchase.
Yeah.
So go on LinkedIn, because it's about, I've used it a lot in this talk, but it's like other social media platforms are also good, but LinkedIn's the real business one, right?
Yeah.
That's the playground. So just go, right, get on there and go, I need a hand. Or spend some time looking at profiles of businesses like yours, because even if you talk to someone who's, you just started your craft brewery and you want to go speak to the guys at Brewdog, well, they know.
They should be
they're doing it. Obviously, you was potential competition, are they, at that point? And if you got there one day, all fair play to you. Most will turn around and help you. And if they're small-minded enough not to, we'll go find another one, as other breweries exist. Do you mean it's that, like, just keep going for people that look relevant to you?
Yeah.
We've all got access to that. Those of us that are lucky enough to be in a position where, like I said, we see and watch podcasts.
Yeah.
You've got a smartphone, you've got a computer, you've got access to the internet. Right, well, in that case, you get on LinkedIn, you can build a profile, and you can attack people like yourself. Go find them.
I love what you said, like, you got a phone, you got something, just get going. Like, it takes much less than people think it takes. People think, like, you need a professional page, you need a professional email, you need good camera equipment to do whatever. No, it takes literally a few seconds of time and effort, that's it.
We do. I used to do a thing, so the franchise I worked for was called Action Coach, and they used to do this thing called alignment. It was making sure that what you were doing was leading towards your goal. So obviously you need to know your goal is first, otherwise you could bring all the set thing going in the wrong direction. But most people's goals are far more achievable than they think they are. So it's like, I want to live in £1 million house, that's my goal. So I need to raise £1 million. It's like, there you go. Push that, because you get a mortgage. So actually your monetary goal is much smaller. Is it £1 million house you want, or is that just a figure in your head? Like, what does that look like? Well, one person, all they wanted to do was run a business from teaching languages. So they had a business in the South, they were teaching languages. And they said, all I want to do is do my work from a beach in Colombia. I went, okay. how much on the plane ticket to Colombia? This much. You got a passport? Yeah. You got a laptop? Yeah. Have you got a place to stay? Because that's going to be your biggest. Oh, no, I've got a mates out there on top of it. Yeah. I've got full time here, I have to pay the level of rent. How much? That much, right. So really, your costs total are something like 200 quid to get out there and probably going to save a month to live out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much is your business out of it? This much. It's more than £200 a month of it. Yeah. You can achieve your goal tomorrow. Because all you got to do is buy a plane ticket, get your passport, fly out there, take a laptop.
Yeah.
And that's it. And literally, like Saturday, I can't do it. Why can't you do it? No, you can. When you actually hold that mirror up, they look at it, they're like, oh yeah? Yeah, no, I can.
No.
Tell them that's where she is then.
No.
Like, I spoke the other day, I spoke to Annie, just dropped a message at me, plug me in, it's like, you absolutely hear it. Because it is like generally, if you know exactly what you're after, it doesn't take as much as thinking, right?
Absolutely, but you mentioned before as well, and we can tie it into this, it's like a self-help book.
Yeah.
One page out of whatever amount, 100 pages or whatever, like useful. You're not going to know which pages are useful until you go through the 300 pages, right? So that coupled with just go out there and do it, you will fail, 99 times, but 1 out of 100 again. When you fail, the failure is temporary. But like if you hit it once, if that person moved out of Colombia once, they're failed. Congratulations, go and cheat, right? And so we're just talking about people that are fresh, new, starting new business, completely are just stuck. They're stuck at the start. Now, let's bring this over to someone that's maybe has a business or a side gig and they've got to the field, right? But they're trying to cross the chasm between, they have some clients, so they have a business, right? They're able to support themselves. Now, they either have a business or a job, but they can support themselves.
Yeah.
And they're trying to get to a place where they have a company and they're able to, scale it. But it's just, how do you manage your day-to-day job? How do you scale the business? How do you hire and not lose cash flow? How do you just cross that chasm of doing okay by yourself to then doing okay as a business, to then be able to step back from the business and, just let it, kind of what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Managing from business.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a combination of things, because everyone will tell you when you set a business up, a business owner wears many hats. Right? Find that hat that is the most painful to wear for you, right? Because mine's like admin detail. That end of life is not really. I'm a big idea builder, strokes guy, running it, talk, run, go. So someone who actually can handle that sort of thing. So you identify which hat is the most painful. You then go, right, how much is it going to cost me to get someone else to wear this hat? And to begin with, outsource it. You don't need a full-time hire straight off the bat, right? You could just outsource it. So you find, do a bit of time, you do it outside, I know you've got a job and other bits you do, but I find a little bit of time, just do a little bit of research, you go, right, who does that? Real simple one, someone do your bookkeeping, right? It won't cost you a huge amount at all. So you're like, right, so I'm going to pay them this much a month. That's this number of things, or there's that number of clients, or that amount of work to justify that money. So if I'm paying them £10 an hour that is that they're charging, if I can be doing £50 an hour work inward at the time I would have been spent, because I'm doing 5 hours of bookkeeping, it's just costing me £50 a month. If I can do £50 an hour work and do the 5 hours that I was doing bookkeeping on that instead, then I'm actually up 200 quid.
Yeah.
Because the 250 I've earned, 50 goes to them, but I'm still up 200 quid, and I'm enjoying life well, because I'm not doing 5 hours of bookkeeping.
Which things like
stole my soul. So you start with that. But obviously, as that goes there and the work comes up and you get more in because you're building more, the size grows, take the next hat off. Or work out at what point enough of those hats go together to form a full-time person on a full-time wage. You can do all those jobs. And it's just that matter of individually taking them apart and going, right, how can I do this? How do I best hand that off to somebody else? Is it a full-time role? Does it not justify being a full-time role? If it's a really expensive to replace thing, you're going to have to wear that hat low research, and that's how that goes. Unless you pick up so much work that you can then find someone to do it.
Right.
But it's that for me, it's that just identifying the pain points, working out what it costs to replace them, being able to justify it and properly justify it as something that's actually going to make the money in the long run rather than lose your money. Because if you can't, don't do it.
Yeah, of course.
You know, as I say, like, you know, if you spend 5 hours a week cleaning, 5 hours of cleaning services is not that expensive. So it's like, right, find work that more than pays for that. Actually, now I'm making more money and I'm doing less of the stuff I don't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So in the end, you're getting paid an absolute fortune each time, a great time.
To get yourself into the right mindset, into the right attitude, it's a million times easier if you have a good community and good people around you. And I think everybody will over time find their tribe, their people. But I think everybody could use someone that will be honest and transparent with them and actually move them, guide them by the hand and be in a place that's effective.
Yeah.
And I think frontal support and actually coming to you is probably one of the best starts that they can have.
Well, thank you. And so they don't have to be sports people, but that kind of mindset, it does work that way. But I draw lessons from everything, right? And you think, like, if you're single and you're looking for a date, you go out and you put on this big false front, you turn up, you spend a lot of money looking good the first one. You got to keep that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, it's expensive, it stresses you out, you never get anywhere, no one's ever going to be able to keep that one up. And it's usually never going to find you a tribe because you're constantly doing things that you don't want to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
The sooner you go, you turn up and go, this is me.
Yeah.
They'll very quickly decide I'm going to be there like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which, as I say, as a telesales, a guy who's background in telesales, a no is better than a maybe by thousands of percent. I would much rather yes and no than maybe. And no's better than maybes by a long way. So it's like, get out there, be you. You'll resonate with the people that resonate with you, that community will build. The longer you take to be you, the longer it'll take to build that tribe, because no one knows what they're looking at.
Absolutely. And again, go through the 300 pages. Again, your community might be the right one for a lot of people, right? If some people are just looking to be passively involved in like a social club, obviously they're probably welcome, but it's not going to be the long-term place for them. It's for people who want to take action. But I think the underlying lesson that everybody can take away is go through the 300 pages to find out which ones are the ones that are going to be beneficial, and go to start at whatever page is closest to you. Well, you know, if obviously books start at page 1, but your life isn't a book, it's not in a straight line. So page 1 is the closest thing that you have that you can grab and hold on to.
Yeah, it's the same with anything. Like if someone said to you it's got 1% chance of success, I'd probably put you off taking it on, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Right, but if you're on the phone so you can make 200 calls a day, that's 2 successes a day.
Which is,
you're only going to get there if you make 200 calls a day. So it's like, it works. Like, 1%, oh God, no, it's like, but that's 2 a day, 200 a day, and that's not that much time.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you go with something like that, as long as there is a chance of success, if you do it enough, it'll turn. So it's just, put the hours in.
Put the hours in, we'll support on it. And just, like a rugby, just head on.
Just keep going.
Try to learn to enjoy taking knocks. And the more you commit, the less they're going to happen.
The less they and as I say, as a prop forward, that's why I scrum road support. I expend energy where I need to, not willy-nilly, because there's not that much of it to give. So as time goes by, I find cleverer ways of doing things, so I have less energy out the front foot. But when time calls for it, I'll put my foot down and sprint and push out. So it's like just learn as you go. But forward momentum will always get you over the end. So, nice. There you go.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you.